Okay, this is Unit 2, Lesson 3, Part 1. And on Part 1, we are analyzing sales promotion. So we're trying to see which promotion will give you the better, cheaper deal. So we got Jack. He's buying plywood for his business. 2 lumberyards sell plywood for $60 per sheet. And this year, oh my gosh, the plywood went up. Plywood's like $100 a sheet now. It is that expensive. So this is a cheap deal beginning with. Anyway, so it says promotion 1. It says if you spend more than $400, we'll give you $75 off. And promotion 2 says buy as much as you want and we'll give you 10% off everything. So we need to find out which one's cheaper. So promotion A says you're going to only buy 10 of them. And then B says you're going to buy 20 of them. So we're going to see which one's cheaper, promotion 1 or 2. So if we need 10 sheets of plywood, we're going to take 10 sheets times $60 per sheet. That's going to give us $600 altogether. Now we're going to subtract our $75. Okay, that is our deal. Subtract the 75, and we have $525 total cost. Okay, that's before tax. So total cost before tax. Then it says promotion 2, you get 10% off everything. So if I have 10%, 100% minus 10% off means I pay only 90%. So if you pay only 90%, that's what we're going to multiply by. Otherwise, we would have to multiply by the 10% and then subtract. If we just multiply by the 90% we pay, we don't have to subtract. So it's less steps to do. So on this one, what we're going to do is we're going to take our $600 because we have 10 sheets. So it's going to be the amount. It's going to be the same amount here. And then we got to take 10% of that or 90%. So we can do this 2 different ways. So if we times it by 0.10% versus if we times it by 90%. Now, where did I get 0.10 and 0.90 from? What did I do with those numbers? I subtracted from 100, right? I divided by 100, exactly. So I took the percentage, divided by 100, and I got the decimal. So once we have the decimals, we multiply by the money now. So this is going to give me $60 savings. So that's what we would subtract. Now we would have to subtract. We would go 600, subtract our 60, we would get 540 total cost. Whereas if we do it like that on the right-hand side by what we pay, that's going to be our answer right away, $540. We don't have to subtract anything. So if we do it by the way we pay on the right-hand side, there are less steps. Okay? Less steps. Okay, so there's less steps for that. So who's cheaper, $525 or $540? $525 is cheaper. So we would say promotion 1 is cheaper. Okay? So we either circle or we write cheaper or better deal. So if I were to mark this question, this would be a 2.5 or 3.5 mark question. You would get 1 mark for solving each and then 0.5 for circling or telling me who the better deal is. Because why would we do these questions? We're trying to find out who's cheaper. That's the whole point of doing them. Okay, now he needs 20 sheets of plywood. Is it going to change which is cheaper? You might be surprised. So now we have 20 sheets times $60 per sheet. And that's going to give us a cost of $1,200. So I know my cost over here is starting with $1,200. That's my 20 sheets of plywood. And on the left-hand side, I only get to subtract $75. That's it. So I still pay total cost $1,125. So that's a lot of money. I pay $1,125. Now let's take a look at promotion 2. Which way do you want to do promotion 2? Subtract the discount, or do you want to do by how much you pay? How much you pay is the easier way because it's less steps. Yeah.
We have a test on this. Are we gonna have to do both ways?
No. Yeah, you only have to do what you find easier. Yeah. And in -3, there's no questions where it says Jim and Sue did the question where they make their mistakes, so you don't have to worry about those kinds of questions. Yeah, so it doesn't matter which way. What way do you guys find easier? If I were to look up here, I'll continue. So now the 1,200, now we're going to times it by what we pay. So we pay 90% of the cost. So times by 0.90. And that's going to give us our answer right away as $1,080. So it's actually cheaper for promotion 2 this time. So you're going to find that happens sometimes where if you buy a small quantity, one way is cheaper, but if you buy more of them, the other way ends up being cheaper. And we're going to find that out happening quite often here. All right, the next question says, Kristen's buying a dozen watches. So if we don't remember what the word dozen means, dozen is 12. So you're going to buy 12 watches, and these are our little cheapos because they have a regular price of $20. Okay, so we have a store that has 2 promotions. We have the real deal, buy one, get one half price. And the other guy is get 1/8 off. So you get 1/8 of the price off. So that means you would pay only 7/8 of the cost. Okay, so you only pay 7/8 of the total cost. All right, so let's find out what the real deal says. So if we need 12 watches, we need to buy 6 full price, and then 6 are going to be half price. So we got 6 times normal price, which is $20. And what's half of $20? $10. So we're going to get 6 that are half price. So 6 that'll be $10. Okay, so now we're going to get $120 and $60. Okay, so $60. Our total cost is $180. All right, that's buying 12 watches. Let's see what the big discount gives us. So if I need to pay 7/8, well, I'm just going to take 7 divided by 8 and get my decimal. So I need to get my decimal. Doesn't want to spell very well there. Okay, so if I'm going to get my decimal, I'm going to go 7 divided by 8. And that's going to give me 0.875. And that's what I'm going to multiply by my cost. So if I've got $20 per watch and I have to buy 12 watches, the regular price would cost me $240. That's what it would cost me regular price. Now I only need 7/8 of that price. So now I'm going to times that by 0.875. And that tells me what my cost will be. So my cost will end up being $210. So which way is cheaper? The real deal is cheaper. Okay? So $210 is what we end up paying for the big discount. All right, we got Allison needs to buy a new computer. She's got 2 stores, the Computer Corner and the Big Buy. And it says the same computer she's buying from both places. One's going to charge her $3,500, but a 15% discount. So that means she only pays how much then? If she gets reduced 15%, always start with 100, subtract your 15, and that means she's going to pay 85% of the cost. Okay? So she pays 85% of the cost. Okay? Again, that's if you want to do it that way, or you could find the 15% and subtract. The Big Buy says they're only going to charge her $32.50, but they get a mail-in rebate. A mail-in rebate we subtract from the total right away. So this we're going to just subtract this guy. This guy here gets subtracted from the total. Okay, so that means I'm going to take 30 to 50. And remember, we're being money on your assignments. If it's money, that you need the dollar signs. I do take marks off if you don't have dollar signs. You need to put dollar signs with money. Otherwise, it's just a decimal. Okay. 32.50 subtract $200, and that's it. So this one's going to end up paying $3,050. Okay, there's our total without tax. The computer corner, though, she's going to pay 85% of the cost. So we're going to take our total cost, $3,500, and multiply it by that decimal now. So 85 divide 100 gives us 0.85. So 0.85. And that's going to give us a total of $29.75. So computer corner is cheaper, and sometimes the questions will ask you how much cheaper. So that guy is $75 cheaper. Okay, that's what ends up happening with that one. Okay. Number 4, we've got Troy. Now I want you to put a star beside number 4. You are going to get questions like this on your test and unit quiz. So you need to know how to do questions like number 4 for sure. So make sure you put a star beside that guy. So now we've got 2 different places, and we have an apartment at each place. Moonhaven's going to charge them $900 a month plus 2/3 of the month's rent for damage deposit. This is something super important. Damage deposit is only, write this down please, charged once. Once at the beginning. So if you go to rent a place, does beginning have 2 ends? I don't know.
I think so.
We'll pretend it does for the moment.
Technically, yes, 3 ends, because
It does right now. Okay, so damage deposit only subtracts from 1 month. That's it, from your very first month. It doesn't come off every month, and that's where people get mistakes. So first of all, 2/3 of your money. So we need to first of all find 2/3 of 900. So I'm going to show you what to actually type in the calculator. So I'm going to put the calculator right underneath it. So this is what you would type in your calculator. You would type in 900 times the top number 2, divide by the bottom number 3, and equals. Okay, so whenever you've got a fraction, you times by the top, divide by the bottom, always. Okay, so that's going to tell you what 2/3 of your 900 is. Well, that's going to be $600. So that's going to give us 600 is our damage deposit, the DD, damage deposit. Okay, so how many months are we going to be there? He says for the first one, it's a year. How many months are in a year? 12, good. So we're going to have our $900 rent times 12 months. Okay, so 900 times 12 months. That's going to give us $10,000 and 800. So 10,800. Okay, so that's how much it costs. That's rent only. We have to pay rent plus 1 month damage deposit. So now we're going to add that damage deposit. So plus 600. So now we're going to say our total cost is going to be 11,400, and that's for 1 year. Okay, so we found 1 year for Moonhaven. So Moonhaven is going to charge us 11,400 for 1 year. Notice that 600, I only put it down there once, not every time. All right, Suncrest says you're going to get $1,000 a month, so it's a little bit more expensive, but I'm going to give you a free month. So instead of paying for 12, how many do you pay for? 11, good. So now we're going to get $1,000 times 11 times 11 months. Okay, that's going to give us a grand total of $11,000. Exactly. So, in this case, who is cheaper for 1 year? Suncrest Lodge is cheaper for 1 year. Now we're going to do it for 2 years. Now it's going to say, all right, Troy needs to stay there for 2 years. So if it's 2 years, how many months is 2 years? If 12 is 1 month, how much is 2? 24, good. So now Moonhaven's going to times by 24. So I need to write this part again, only I'm changing the 12 to a 24. So this one's going to go 900 times 24.
No, you don't. You need to put it away. No, that's not really the way, is it? No.
That's going to give us 21,600. And then we need to add our damage deposit. So we're going to add our 600 damage deposit. And remember, you don't add it every month. You only add it once. So this is now going to give us a grand total of $22,200. And that's for 2 years. Over at Suncrest, if you get 1 free month, how many months out of 24 do you have to pay for?
23.
Perfect. So we're going to say 24 minus 1 free equals 23 months. So we're taking 1,000 times 23. And all that's going to do is give us $23,000. So the longer we stay at this place, Suncrest, it was cheaper if we stayed there for a year only. But if we stay there for longer than a year, it's going to cost us more money. So 23,000 is more expensive than 22,200. So this time, this guy, Moonhaven, is cheaper. Whoa. Okay. Holy smokes, this is glitching hard. It does not want to cooperate. Let's try that again. I'll just write the number 20. Come on. 3, 0, 0, 0. Holy cow. Cheaper. Okay. All we have left is 2 examples. Lydia's Linens, number 5 and 6. That's it. And then part 2 is 1 question. It's on the back page. We're going to do part 2, and that's going to be Wednesday. And that's talking about buying vehicles, and that's his whole back page. It's a lot of steps. So that's part 2. All right, so we just have 2 last questions here. So Nikki needs 10 new sets of linen for her massage business. She checks out the sales at 2 different stores. Beddings and More, you buy one, get one free. Lydia's Linens, you get 30% off your regular price. Well, if it's 30% off, means you only pay how much then? Out of 100, how much would you pay if you get 30 off? What's 100 minus 30? 100 minus 30 is going to give us 70%. So we pay 70%. That's what we're paying. All right, so Beddings and More, buy one, get one free. She needs 10. So that means we only have to pay for 5. So we have, what is hers? $29.50 times 5 sets. So times 5. So we get one free. So buy 5, get 5 free. So that's going to give us a total of $147.50. Okay, that is a 5 there. It may not look like it a little bit, but that's a 5. Okay, at Lydia's Linens, we do have to buy all 10. But remember, we're only paying 70%. So we are now, but this time they're cheaper. They're only $24. So we're going to have $24 times 10 sets is going to be $240. $240. That's a sketchy 240. Okay, 240. And now the 240 is what we multiply by 0.70. So we times that by 0.70. And that's going to give us our total cost. So we have to find out the regular cost first. That's what we found out first, our regular cost. And then we have to find 70% of it, because that's all we pay. So that's going to be $168. So in this case, Beddings and More is cheaper. All right, last example. We got a dude named Noor. He wants to rent a vehicle. And he's got 2 different companies. One is called Rent a Car, one's called CarBud. He needs to go 900 kilometers, and it's going to take him 5 days. One of them has unlimited mileage, so he could drive as far as he wants. Doesn't matter. They're not going to charge him for it. But the other guy, they're going to charge him per kilometer. Okay, but they charge him less per day. So we're going to see how much each one is. So Rent a Car, we are going for 5 days. So we have $32 times 5 days. On this one, we don't have to worry about our mileage. Okay, mileage is your kilometers. You don't have to worry about paying for that. They're giving it to you free. So that means we're only paying $160 to rent the car for 5 days. Now, CarBud, it says you're going to charge $9.99 per day, so almost $10 a day. And this is all before tax, times 5 days. And that's going to give us $49.95. Plus, we have to pay for kilometers. So our kilometers is 0.08 cents, so 8 cents a kilometer. And he traveled 900 kilometers. So we need to add these 2 together. So that's going to be $72. So we're going to add those, and we're going to get $121.95. So in this case, car bud is cheaper. Okay, so car bud is cheaper if we only go for 5 days. Now it says on B, what if he changed his trip to 3 days? Same amount of kilometers, 900, but now only 3 days. So this one changes. 32 times 3 days is going to give us $96 for 3 days. And now Carbud, we have to go $9.99 times 3 days, which is $29.97. Plus we have to pay the kilometers. 72. It's the same amount of kilometers. So we don't have to figure it out again. It's the exact same amount of kilometers here. So now we got to add them together. Our total here is going to be $101. So 101.97. So if he takes it for a shorter time, the rent-a-car is way cheaper. Well, not way cheaper, but it's cheaper at least by about $5. But if you take it for a long period of time, the other way is cheaper. This ends part 1 of lesson 2.3.